The dawn in a medieval village unfolds slowly, and as you listen, you may begin to feel your body soften, your breath deepen, and a warm sense of quiet settle around you like the gentle crackle of a campfire. Tonight, we explore what those early moments felt like, in a world where work began calmly and time seemed to move with the rhythm of nature. Before we continue, tell me, from which country are you listening, and what time is it where you are now? Before we go further, if you enjoy peaceful history told in a calm voice like this, feel free to tap like, subscribe, and leave a gentle comment to help others find their way here. Imagine the sky still dim, the horizon glowing faintly as the village rests in a soft half-light. People rise not with urgency, but with a quiet awareness of the day ahead. This is not a world of rushing footsteps or loud machinery. It is a place shaped by steady routines and a deep appreciation for the simple tasks that await. The first breaths of morning air feel clean and cool, carrying the scent of damp earth and early dew. A faint mist rests over the grass, drifting slowly, as though the entire landscape is stretching after a long night's sleep. This gentle stillness invites you to ease into your own calm state. As the village slowly wakes, a few soft sounds begin to surface. Footsteps on packed soil, a wooden door opening, someone adjusting their cloak against the morning chill. These sounds are quiet enough to fade into the background, creating a peaceful rhythm that guides your attention downward, toward rest. You might notice your breathing slowing here, much like the quiet tempo of this old village life. Every movement is unhurried, deliberate, and gentle. Even the earliest tasks are approached with calm steadiness, as though the day's work is simply another chance to connect with the world around them. In these early moments, the sun has not yet climbed fully into the sky. A pale glow touches the edges of rooftops, making the village appear softer, almost wrapped in a blanket of silence. This light marks the beginning of the workday, yet nothing feels demanding or loud. As you picture this scene, let your shoulders relax, allowing the soft imagination of this morning to guide your body downward into deeper comfort. The routine of the village is steady, predictable, and reassuring, a reminder that beginnings do not have to be rushed. If your mind begins to drift, you can let it drift. The story will continue at its own calm pace, always waiting for you. Now, imagine a villager stepping outside, closing their door quietly behind them. Their breath forms a faint cloud in the cool morning air. They take a moment to look around, noticing which fields hold mist, which roofs gleam with dew, and which paths look the most traveled today. Nothing is hurried. Everything begins with observation. A few others begin to emerge as well, greeting one another with soft nods. Words are kept brief at this hour, not out of formality, but because the quiet is pleasant and no one wishes to disturb it. The morning is peaceful enough that even small conversations feel like part of the scenery. The tools for the day's work are simple, wooden handles smoothed by years of use. Though they assist with labor, the benefit they bring is ultimately by the permission of the one who allows all things to function as they do. Villagers carry them with familiarity, ready to begin tasks they have known their entire lives. As sunlight slowly stretches across the village, shadows pull back from doorways and paths. This early brightness does not rush in. It arrives gently, giving every surface a warm, muted glow. It encourages the mind to slow down further, to feel grounded in the calm unfolding of time. There is a quiet companionship in these early hours. Even when people work alone, they share the same soft atmosphere, the same rhythm, the same understanding that the day will unfold at its own natural pace. Nothing demands immediate attention. Everything arrives in due time. Let this steady rhythm help your mind settle. If your thoughts wander, that is completely welcome here. A subtle breeze moves through the village, stirring the tops of grasses and carrying the faint sound of distant footsteps. The air feels cool but comforting, as though the morning itself is offering a gentle invitation to begin the day without pressure. As the sun rises a little more, the colors of the world become clearer. Browns of wooden walls, greens of early crops, and soft grays of stone pathways emerge gradually. These familiar details guide villagers into their routines, giving shape to tasks that require patience rather than speed. Animals begin to stir as well, adding soft textures of sound to the morning. A A quiet rustle of hay, a distant cluck or bleat, subtle reminders that the village is alive but unhurried. These gentle sounds blend into the calm atmosphere, creating a soothing backdrop similar to steady firewood crackling beside you. People begin their first chores now, yet the tone of the morning remains slow and peaceful. Some gather water. Others check small tools. Some step toward the fields, watching the sky as it brightens. Every task is part of the same gentle pattern. Notice how your breath aligns with this pace, how your body softens as the village quietly awakens. Nothing here disturbs you. Nothing pulls you forward too quickly. You are simply drifting alongside the rhythm of dawn. As the early light settles over the land, the village prepares for the day with calm intention. The slow dawn offers reassurance, reminding everyone that the most peaceful parts of life often exist in the simplest moments, in the quiet spaces before the world becomes busy again. You can let your eyes grow heavier if they wish. The story will continue to guide you gently, without urgency. The village eases into its morning rhythm with movements so gentle that they almost blend into the misty air. These early tasks are quiet, steady, and shaped by patience rather than urgency, offering the same calming effect as listening to a soft fire crackle beside you. With the village now waking, the first sounds of activity remain muted and thoughtful. Someone steps outside, carrying a simple bucket. Another adjusts a cloak against the lingering coolness. Each motion is slow, like the morning itself is teaching everyone how to begin with ease. A villager walks toward the water source, the path still dark with dew. The footsteps create a soft, rhythmic pattern, almost like a heartbeat guiding the moment. Nothing disturbs the quiet. Even the birds seem to wait before joining the day. The water surface is calm, reflecting the pale morning light. When the bucket dips in, it breaks the reflection gently, creating ripples that travel outward in smooth circles. The sound is tender, soothing, a reminder of how peaceful routine work can feel. Nearby, someone begins checking tools that will be used throughout the day. Wooden handles are inspected, not out of haste, but care. These tools provide benefit only by the will of the one who allows anything to function, and villagers handle them with respect and familiarity. A soft rustle comes from a storage corner as another person reaches for woven baskets. The texture of dried fibers brushing together adds a grounding quality to the morning. Each detail is simple, yet full of quiet character. Animals stir with calm sounds, adding faint hints of life to the stillness. The gentle shift of hay, the soft breathing of livestock waking slowly, all become part of the morning's serene soundtrack. Nothing breaks the tranquility. As routines unfold, the shared atmosphere encourages a slower pace. Villagers know these tasks well, and the familiarity brings comfort. When the mind already knows what comes next, the body can move with peaceful certainty. If your thoughts drift while imagining this quiet scene, it is perfectly fine. This village welcomes wandering minds and slow breaths. Someone begins grinding grain, a task both steady and soothing. The rhythmic motion of stone on stone creates a soft pulse in the background, offering a calming repetition that feels almost like a lullaby shaped by work. Another person begins preparing simple food for later in the day. The ingredients are modest, but the process feels grounding. Each movement, sorting, washing, arranging, brings a sense of order that guides the morning with gentle structure. Cloth is hung outside to air, moving slightly when a small breeze passes through the village. The fabric sways slowly, mirroring the patience of those beginning their work. The scene invites the body to settle deeper into ease. A pair of villagers begin repairing a fence, speaking softly as they work. Their voices are low, blending with the morning air rather than rising above it. The tone is calm and unhurried, carrying the rhythm of people accustomed to steady days. Tools knock lightly against wooden posts, creating small sounds that come and go without pulling attention away from the peaceful surroundings. Everything that happens fits into the quiet morning as though it belongs to a natural melody. Allow your breathing to settle again, deeper and slower, following the calm pattern of these simple routines. Herbs gathered the day before are sorted with deliberate motions. Each leaf is handled carefully, not because of fragility, but because slow tasks help set the pace of the day. The scent of these herbs mixes with the cool air, giving the morning a comforting character. Some villagers check the condition of stored grains or dried goods, ensuring they remain protected for future use. These tasks are quiet but essential, contributing to the steady rhythm that keeps the community moving smoothly. The sun continues to rise, though still softly. Warm light begins touching the edges of homes, making the tasks feel slightly easier, as if the world is offering a gentle encouragement to those working. More villagers step into their routines now, but the peaceful tone remains. Every sound is subtle, every movement measured, every moment part of a harmonious start that avoids rush or tension. As the soft rhythm of morning tasks continues, the village settles into its familiar pattern, shaped by calm hands and patient hearts. This is a morning built not on urgency, but on balance, preparing the community for the day ahead with a serenity that lingers in the air. Let the gentle repetition of these tasks guide your mind into deeper comfort, just as the villagers ease into their day with quiet purpose. The fields begin to wake as the first strands of sunlight stretch gently across the village outskirts. The darkness softens into warm gold, revealing the quiet landscape that has been resting through the night. It is a slow transformation, peaceful and steady. As the light grows, the shapes of the fields become clearer. Rows of crops, patches of soil, and scattered stones appear inch by inch, like a picture gradually coming into focus. Nothing rushes. Even the sunlight seems to take its time. Villagers walk toward the fields with measured steps, their tools resting comfortably in their hands. The morning air carries the smell of earth warming under the rising sun. It is a scent that feels grounding, steadying, almost like a reminder that the day can unfold gently. The soil is still cool, holding the last traces of night. When touched by the wooden tools, it gives way softly, turning over with a faint, reassuring sound. These early tasks invite patience, not force. Some villagers pause to observe the crops before beginning their work. They look for signs of new growth, checking the shapes of leaves, the moisture of the soil, and the health of each row. This quiet attention brings a sense of connection to the land. The fields respond to the sunlight as though waking slowly from a deep sleep. Dew on the leaves sparkles briefly before fading into the warm air. Shadows retreat little by little, inviting the day to begin fully. A person kneels beside a patch of young plants, gently clearing small weeds. The motions are unhurried, practiced, and almost meditative. The soft brushing of leaves creates a whispering sound that blends seamlessly into the morning. Further out, someone smooths the soil around growing crops, ensuring each plant has space to breathe. These simple adjustments help guide the day's work, making the tasks feel manageable and calm. Occasionally, villagers speak to one another in low, easy tones. Their words carry lightly across the fields, never breaking the peaceful atmosphere. The conversations are brief, often just a shared observation about the land. The rising sun warms the backs of those working, but gently. This warmth creates a comfortable rhythm, encouraging slow, steady progress. It is the kind of heat that feels like a companion rather than a burden. Tools move in repeating motions, predictable and soothing. The sound of soil being leveled or lifted creates a soft pattern, a quiet reminder that some tasks are meant to be done slowly. Small birds begin to hop along the edges of the fields, occasionally scattering when someone approaches but always returning to explore. Their presence adds a light, natural energy to the scene without disturbing its serenity. A villager picks up a handful of soil, letting it fall through their fingers to test its texture. Such simple assessments are part of daily life, helping them understand what the land may need on this particular morning. Here and there, patches of wildflowers add gentle color to the landscape. Yellow, white, and soft pink hues rest between the crops, providing moments of quiet beauty as people work around them. The sound of footsteps moving through the field paths remains soft and regular. Grass bends beneath each step, rising again after the person passes, as though the field itself moves with the same calm rhythm. As more sunlight fills the sky, the shadows grow shorter. The field becomes brighter but stays peaceful, holding onto the slow energy of its early hours. Some villagers take brief pauses, standing still to stretch their backs or breathe deeply. These moments feel natural, as though the land encourages them to rest before continuing. The fields now feel awake, not in a loud or overwhelming way, but with a gentle readiness. The day's work has truly begun, though everything still feels spacious and unhurried. Villagers continue their steady labor, guiding the early tasks with patience. Nothing is forced, nothing rushed. The land and the people move together in a quiet, shared rhythm shaped by light, soil, and time. As the sun settles into its place above the horizon, the morning's softness lingers over the fields. It creates a sense of calm purpose, a peaceful beginning to the long day ahead. Inside the village, away from the wide fields, the quiet world of handcraft begins to stir. Morning light filters gently through small windows, settling over wooden tables and bundles of materials waiting to be shaped. The stillness here feels different, more focused, like a breath held softly before being released. A villager sits at a low bench, running their fingers along a length of smooth wood. The grain reveals itself slowly under the morning light, showing patterns shaped by time. Working with wood requires patience, and each careful touch helps set the rhythm for the day. With a steady hand, the villager begins shaping the piece, letting small curls fall quietly to the floor. The gentle scrape of the tool is soft and repetitive, creating a soothing sound that blends naturally with the peaceful morning around them. Nearby, someone works with clay that has been prepared the day before. The cool, pliable surface responds to steady pressure, forming into smooth curves. This work is simple but deeply calming, as though the clay encourages slow breathing and gentle focus. A basket maker arranges strips of dried plant fiber, weaving them over and under in a familiar pattern. Each movement is precise, but unhurried. The fibers slide together with a soft, rustling sound, adding texture to the quiet space. Across the room, grain is being ground by hand. The stone moves in a circular motion that repeats steadily, creating a rhythm that feels almost like a heartbeat echoing through the workroom. It is a sound villagers grow up hearing, comforting in its consistency. A seamstress examines a piece of cloth, running a finger along its edge before threading a needle. The thread glides through fabric in tiny, delicate motions, each stitch helping repair garments that have served their purpose well. Nothing is wasted, and nothing is rushed. Tools rest in their places, shaped by years of use but offering benefit only through the permission and will of the one who allows all things to function. Their worn handles carry the memory of many calm mornings just like this one. A potter gently turns a wheel, wet clay rising under their fingertips. The form grows slowly, each rotation adding height and shape. The wheel spins with a low, steady hum that feels grounding, like a quiet anchor in the stillness of the room. The scents of the workspace create their own calming atmosphere. Fresh-cut wood, clean earth, dried herbs, and woven fibers combine softly in the air. These smells are subtle, but they add a comforting layer to the steady rhythm of craft. Outside, faint sounds of village life drift through the doorway, but they do not disturb the concentration inside. Instead, they mingle gently with the handwork, becoming part of the quiet environment without pulling attention away. Someone sharpens a blade slowly, drawing it along a stone with deliberate care. The motion is repeated until the edge is smooth and ready. The sound is faint but crisp, marking the passage of time in a peaceful way. A child watches an elder work, learning by observing the patient repetition. Craft is not taught through hurry but through rhythm, understanding, and presence. Every movement becomes a lesson in patience and calm attention. Bundles of unfinished work rest neatly along the wall, waiting their turn. They carry no pressure, no urgency, just quiet readiness for whenever the next hands pick them up to continue shaping them. A beam of sunlight shifts across the room, warming a small section of the table. Dust particles move slowly through the light, floating gently like tiny reminders of stillness and time passing without stress. The workspace grows warmer as the morning progresses, but never loud. People move around one another with practiced ease, sharing the space without rushing or interrupting the natural flow of craft. A villager pauses to stretch their fingers, appreciating the slow comfort of their work before returning to it. The small break blends so seamlessly into the rhythm of the room that it feels like part of the task itself. The tools resume their soft sounds, the motions repeating quietly. Each person becomes absorbed in their craft, letting their hands guide them while their minds settle into the gentle nature of the morning. This calm world of craft and handwork continues at its own pace, shaped by familiarity, patience, and the warmth of shared purpose. Nothing here forces haste. Everything invites stillness. As the sun climbs higher outside, the room remains a sanctuary of gentle focus, a reminder that meaningful work does not need to be loud or hurried. It can unfold peacefully, one slow motion at a time. As the sun climbs toward its highest point, the village gradually shifts into a slower rhythm. The warmth deepens, settling over fields, paths, and rooftops, gently encouraging everyone to ease their pace. Midday brings a natural invitation to rest. The shade beneath trees and simple shelters becomes a welcome refuge. Villagers begin gathering in these cooler pockets, choosing comfortable spots where the breeze can still reach them. The change from steady work to calm stillness feels smooth and unforced. Some sit on low wooden stools, while others settle directly on the ground, leaning against tree trunks worn smooth by many seasons. The air is warm but softened by the leafy canopy above, creating a quiet, protective space. Food prepared earlier in the day is unwrapped slowly. These meals are simple but satisfying, providing steady energy without excess. The scent of grains, herbs, or dried fruits drifts gently through the shaded area. Conversations here unfold in relaxed tones. Voices remain low, carrying soft warmth as villagers exchange small observations about the morning's work. Nothing urgent is discussed. Midday is a moment meant for ease. A few people sit in quiet silence, simply enjoying the chance to rest their bodies. The steady breathing that fills the air feels almost synchronized, forming an unspoken rhythm that settles over the group. The rustling of leaves adds a calming backdrop, swaying lightly in the midday breeze. Sunlight filters through the branches in shifting patterns, moving slowly over faces, clothing, and baskets placed nearby. Children, tired from morning play, sit close to their families or lie down on the cool ground. Their movements are slower now, softened by the warmth of the day and the peaceful atmosphere around them. Someone pours water into wooden cups, offering it to those resting nearby. The cool liquid provides relief from the growing heat, and the shared moment strengthens the quiet sense of community. The distant sounds of the village still exist but feel subdued. A gentle clatter from a workroom, the soft call of someone finishing a task, or the faint echo of footsteps along dirt paths all blend into the slow midday lull. A villager closes their eyes briefly, allowing the warmth to loosen their muscles. The shade offers comfort, wrapping them in a feeling of safety. This small pause becomes a moment to breathe deeply and reset. Tools rest at the edges of the gathering, set down carefully before the break began. Their stillness mirrors the stillness of the people who have used them throughout the morning. Occasionally, a light breeze moves through, bringing with it the scent of distant herbs or freshly turned soil. These natural fragrances add to the soothing atmosphere, grounding everyone in the present moment. Birds shift positions in the branches overhead, their movements soft and unhurried. Some tuck their wings, others flutter briefly, but nothing breaks the calm of the afternoon pause. Someone quietly repairs a strap or adjusts a piece of clothing, using the peaceful break to tend to small tasks. These motions are gentle and thoughtful, fitting perfectly into the relaxed pace of the pause. The midday light continues to brighten the world outside the shade, but the group remains comfortable in their sheltered pockets, protected from the full heat. Time seems to stretch slightly here, giving the moment room to breathe. As the rest continues, the heaviness of early work begins to lift from tired muscles. Shoulders loosen, hands unclench, and the body adjusts to a slower tempo. The break becomes as valuable as the work itself. People begin finishing their meals, tucking away baskets or covering containers for later use. The simple routine of eating and resting creates a sense of balance, preparing them for the next part of the day. Gradually, villagers rise from their seated spots, refreshed by the shade and the silence it offered. Their movements remain unhurried, as though the calm has settled deeply into their bones. As they step back toward their paths or fields, the gentle comfort of midday lingers behind them, a reminder that even in a working world, quiet moments of rest shape the day just as meaningfully as labor does. As midday warmth begins to soften, the village slowly returns to motion. The long shadows shorten, and a renewed calm settles over the paths as people rise from their resting places to continue the day's work. The afternoon carries a quieter kind of energy. Villagers walk back toward their tasks with steady, unhurried steps. The earlier heat has eased, replaced by a warm breeze that passes comfortably through the open spaces. Everything feels lighter now, as though the day itself is stretching into a gentler pace. In the fields, some return to tending the soil, using the cooler air to finish tasks left from the morning. The earth responds differently under the afternoon sun, softer in some places and firmer in others, guiding their hands naturally. Others focus on collecting herbs growing along the edges of the paths. They examine each plant carefully, choosing those with the right scent, texture, or color. The act is quiet, deliberate, and surprisingly soothing. Closer to the village, a group begins sorting tools, placing them in neat clusters according to their purpose. Metal and wood tap lightly as items are moved, creating a soft, practical rhythm that blends into the surroundings. Someone sweeps an open area, guiding dust and leaves into small piles. The repeated motion carries a peaceful simplicity, requiring little thought yet bringing clear order to the space. Laundry hung earlier in the day sways gently on lines stretched between wooden posts. A villager checks the cloth, feeling for dampness and adjusting pieces that need more air. The sight of fabric moving in the breeze adds a sense of calm to the afternoon. In a quiet corner, a person begins mending baskets that were worn from previous use. Their fingers move with practiced ease, weaving new fibers into old frames. Each repaired basket feels like a small renewal. Children help by carrying small items, taking part in light chores suited to their age. Their movements are soft and curious, reflecting the slow rhythm of the afternoon rather than the lively energy of morning. Inside a workroom, grain is sifted through wooden trays. The soft fall of each handful creates a subtle, steady sound, like a gentle whisper of the day progressing forward. A villager tends to animals, refilling water troughs and adjusting piles of hay. The animals respond with quiet movements and calm breaths, mirroring the serene mood of the day. Nearby, someone prepares ingredients for the evening meal. The chopping is careful, slow, and rhythmic, matching the overall tone of the village's afternoon work. The smells begin to form layers that drift pleasantly through the air. Bundles of herbs are tied together for drying, hung neatly along a beam where warm air can pass through. The arrangement looks simple but thoughtful, evidence of small routines that support the village over time. A few people repair equipment by tightening bindings or smoothing worn edges. Their work is light and steady, the kind of task made easier by the relaxed pace of the afternoon hours. In the open square, water is poured into clay containers, creating a cool echo as it fills each vessel. The sound is refreshing in the warm air, carrying a sense of purity and calm. Someone arranges supplies inside a storage area, placing jars, tools, and bundles in careful order. This quiet organization brings clarity to the space, making future tasks easier and creating a gentle sense of accomplishment. Villagers occasionally exchange a few quiet words as they pass one another. The conversations are brief, carrying warmth without urgency, as though the afternoon itself encourages soft connection. People shift from one chore to the next when needed, allowing the work to flow naturally. Nothing feels forced. Each task fits easily into the rhythm of the remaining daylight. As the sun begins to lean toward the later hours, the village maintains its calm movement. The light becomes warm and golden, casting a soft glow over every activity, making the ordinary work feel peaceful and purposeful. The afternoon's gentle chores create a sense of balance in the day, reminding everyone that not all labor requires intensity. Some of the most meaningful tasks are those done quietly, with steady hands and an unhurried heart. As the afternoon settles into its warm, steady rhythm, the village naturally begins to gather into small clusters of people. These moments are quiet but deeply connected, forming the social heart of the community in simple, everyday ways. Villagers pause near shared spaces, standing beside wells, resting on low stools, or leaning gently against wooden posts. Their work continues, but now it is accompanied by soft conversation that drifts like a warm breeze through the air. Voices remain low, shaped by a peaceful tone that matches the calm of the day. People speak about weather, crops, routine tasks, or observations about the changing season. Nothing heavy, nothing urgent, just familiar threads woven gently together. The shared calmness creates a sense of trust, as though everyone understands the value of speaking softly and listening without rush. These interactions feel natural, forming part of the rhythm of village life. A pair of elders sit near a shaded corner, shaping small tools or repairing simple items. They talk slowly, their words carried with the ease of long companionship. Their presence brings quiet steadiness to the space around them. Children wander nearby, playing softly or helping with minor tasks. Their laughter is gentle, not disruptive, blending pleasantly into the calm atmosphere and adding a lightness to the moment. A group of villagers share water from clay cups, passing them between calloused hands. This simple act becomes an expression of unity, a pause shared among people who spend their days working side by side. Someone begins telling a story, nothing dramatic, only a memory from an earlier season or a lesson learned from the land. The listeners lean in slightly, not from excitement but from the comfort that familiar stories bring. Others continue their chores while listening from a short distance. The soft cadence of conversation keeps them company, shaping a sense of belonging even without direct participation. The sun casts a warm glow across the village center, illuminating small details. The texture of woven baskets, the smoothness of well-worn tools, the gentle movements of people at ease with one another. Occasionally, someone offers a helping hand without being asked, adjusting a load, carrying a bundle, or guiding a younger villager in a simple task. These gestures flow naturally, born from shared responsibility. Nearby, a group sorts dried herbs, their hands moving with practiced familiarity. As they work, they exchange small remarks, each sentence drifting easily into the next. The softness of their voices adds to the calm environment. A few villagers take a moment to rest on wooden benches, watching the steady pace of activity around them. Observing the community becomes its own quiet comfort, a reminder of the support found in shared life. In another corner, someone repairs a wooden wheel, while others offer gentle advice or observations. The collaboration feels effortless, rooted in trust and patience rather than urgency. The animals in the village sense the peaceful energy as well. Chickens wander slowly, goats move closer to shaded areas, and the soft clinking of small bells adds a pleasant layer to the soundscape. As more people finish their earlier tasks, the village center feels fuller, but not louder. The increase in activity brings warmth, not noise, creating an atmosphere that feels both lively and serene. This gathering time strengthens relationships in ways that are subtle but lasting. The shared proximity, the quiet laughter, and the gentle words build a foundation of mutual support. The sun continues its slow path across the sky, deepening the golden tones of the afternoon. The air becomes softer, and shadows grow longer, adding another layer of calm to the scene. In this peaceful moment, the village breathes with a single, steady rhythm of people working together, resting together, and living alongside one another in harmony. As the afternoon begins its gradual shift toward evening, the social heart of the village remains warm and steady, carrying the bonds of the day forward into the quiet hours yet to come. As the sun begins its slow descent toward the horizon, the village settles into a gentle shift of energy. The daylight softens, wrapping every surface in warm amber tones. People naturally begin to transition from the tasks of the afternoon to the quiet preparations that guide the village into evening. The atmosphere feels unhurried, as though the entire landscape is exhaling. Paths that were busy earlier now host slower footsteps. Villagers move with a calm sense of purpose, completing the final chores of the day. The heat has faded, replaced by a cooling breeze that carries the faint scent of soil, herbs, and wood. These moments feel balanced, bridging the active hours and the restful night ahead. Some villagers gather tools left in fields or near workrooms, brushing off dust before storing them carefully. Each item is placed where it belongs, ready for the next day's use. These simple acts of tidying create a sense of closure, gently signaling that the work of daylight is winding down. Even the tools seem to rest. Animals begin returning to familiar enclosures. Their soft movements and quiet sounds add texture to the evening preparations. A villager guides them calmly, ensuring they have water and fresh hay. The peaceful cooperation between humans and animals reflects the steady routine that shapes village life, built upon care and consistency. Along the outskirts, someone checks fences and gates, tightening what needs attention and noting what must be repaired the next day. These small inspections keep the village secure, offering a sense of safety that supports the calm of every evening. The fading light helps highlight the shapes and outlines of the structures around them. Inside homes, people begin organizing spaces touched by the day's activity. Baskets are shifted, surfaces wiped clean, and small items returned to shelves. These indoor tasks carry the same gentle pace as everything else at this hour. Each motion feels intentional, grounding, and quietly comforting. A pot of warm water is set aside for washing hands and faces, offering a moment of refreshment after the dust of the day. The steam rises in delicate ribbons, adding warmth to the cooling room. These simple rituals help signal the gradual shift from labor to rest, easing both body and mind. A villager steps outside to collect laundry dried in the sun. The cloth feels warm and soft, holding the gentle scent of fresh air. Each piece is folded with care, the motion smooth and patient. This moment feels like a quiet reward at the end of a long, steady day. Others gather firewood, stacking pieces near their homes for later use. The soft thud of wood meeting wood is rhythmic and soothing. Though the fire will be small and humble, its warmth is appreciated when the night breeze becomes cooler. Even this preparation carries a sense of peace. Children finish their games and help with light chores, returning items they borrowed earlier or carrying small bundles. Their movements soften as the evening approaches, their energy naturally settling along with the fading sun. Their presence adds a familiar warmth to the surroundings. Some villagers take a moment to observe the sky, watching as it transitions from bright gold to muted rose and deepening blue. The beauty of the changing colors brings a sense of calm reflection, reminding them of the steady cycle of each day, consistent and predictable. Herbs gathered and sorted earlier are now placed in small containers or tied for drying. The scents grow more noticeable in the cooler air, filling spaces with gentle fragrances that soothe the senses. These preparations support both daily life and future routines, connecting today to tomorrow. Those who worked with clay or would begin cleaning their workbenches, wiping away dust and smoothing surfaces for the next use. The act is slow and thoughtful, ending the day's craftsmanship with a silent acknowledgement of the effort that went into each piece. Water jars are topped off, ensuring enough is available for the evening and night. The sound of water flowing into containers echoes softly, providing a sense of reassurance. These small tasks reinforce the village's steady rhythm, built upon quiet responsibility. Paths through the village become softer in sound as people finish their final rounds. Footsteps spaced farther apart reflect the slowing of the day. Conversations diminish, replaced by the natural soundtrack of insects beginning their evening chorus. A villager checks stored food supplies, organizing items into neat arrangements. The order brings comfort, offering certainty for the coming days. These gentle preparations reflect a lifestyle shaped by patience and mindful attention to detail. The village square grows quieter as the sun slips lower, leaving behind elongated shadows and a tender hush. The warm glow from windows begins to take the place of daylight, creating a welcoming sense of home and shelter. People begin returning indoors, carrying with them small tasks completed and a soft satisfaction from the work of the day. The peace that follows these final steps feels earned, wrapping around the village like a comforting blanket. As evening settles fully, the village stands prepared, not with urgency or ceremony, but with a calm acceptance of the day's end. The gentle work, the soft movements, and the thoughtful closures shape a transition that guides every heart toward rest. As the sun lowers further into the horizon, the village enters a moment of transition where work still continues, but with a gentler, hushed energy. The golden light softens each edge, turning every surface warm and muted. Nothing feels rushed now. The day is winding down with a sense of calm and quiet grace. The fields take on a deeper warmth as sunlight rests low across the soil. Villagers working there make their final rounds, checking crops, gathering what is needed, and ensuring tools are placed safely for tomorrow. The long shadows moving with them create a serene, almost dreamlike rhythm. In the village center, a few people finish sorting the last of the dried herbs or grains. Their hands move slowly, following patterns shaped by years of familiar practice. The soft glow of the setting sun touches their work, giving even mundane tasks a sense of quiet beauty. Someone begins stacking firewood neatly against the side of a home. The pieces of wood knock together with muted, steady sounds that fit seamlessly into the evening's atmosphere. The task is simple but feels grounding, anchoring the final moments of daylight. Children, now tired from the afternoon, help carry small baskets back to their homes. Their earlier energy fades into soft footsteps and quiet murmurs as they follow their families. The shift from play to calm feels natural, shaped by the peacefulness of sunset. Inside workshops, crafters complete the last touches on their creations. Clay pieces are set aside to dry, wood is smoothed one final time, and tools are cleaned with slow, thoughtful motions. These closing gestures mark the end of another productive day. A villager sweeps a narrow pathway, clearing away stray leaves and dust that gathered during the afternoon breeze. The movement is steady and unhurried, and the clean path reflects the readiness of the village for the coming night. Others repair simple household items outdoors while there is still enough light. A handle is tightened, a rope is retied, a loose board is straightened. These tasks feel peaceful in the fading sun, carried out with patient care. The animals settle down as well, moving closer to familiar shelters. Their calm movements and quiet breathing add warmth to the atmosphere, reminding everyone of the shared life woven through the village. Sunset paints the sky with hues of orange, rose, and soft violet. Villagers occasionally pause to look upward, appreciating the slow, natural beauty unfolding above them. The colors seem to ease the mind, encouraging slower thoughts and deeper breaths. Small conversations continue, carried gently on the cooling air. People speak of tomorrow's plans, observations from the day, or simple passing thoughts. There is no urgency in their tone, just an easy exchange between those who know each other well. The warmth of the fading sun glows on rooftops, then gradually slips away, leaving soft shadows that invite the village toward rest. Even as daylight dims, the work remains calm and comforting, shaped by familiar rhythms. A villager pours water over tools used during the day, washing away soil and smoothing the surfaces with care. The sound of water flowing provides a refreshing contrast to the fading stillness of the evening. Another person folds cloth that had been drying in the afternoon sun. It now feels pleasantly warm against their hands. The gentle folding motions are slow and peaceful, creating small moments of quiet satisfaction. Groups of villagers gather briefly to share the last steps of their work, offering help where needed. The sense of cooperation deepens during these hours, strengthening the connection that has guided the community throughout the day. As the light grows dimmer, lanterns are prepared but not yet lit. They await the right moment, sitting calmly at doorways and windows. Their presence hints at the comfort soon to come, when night settles fully. The fields slowly darken, fading into soft silhouettes as the sun dips lower. The final tasks are brought to a close with a quiet nod, as though the land itself is signaling that it is time to rest. Villagers walk home in small groups, their pace unhurried. Footsteps blend gently with the evening sounds, creating a peaceful harmony that feels like the last note of the day. In these moments, the entire village feels wrapped in the soft glow of sunset, a warm, fading light that smooths the edges of work and prepares every heart for the restful hours ahead. As the sun disappears, the village stands in a hush shaped by gentle diligence and shared calm. The final traces of daylight linger just long enough to guide the last steps of evening preparation, leaving behind a world ready for quiet. Night approaches with a soft, gradual quiet that settles over the village like a gentle breath. The last traces of sunlight fade into deep blues and greys, blending smoothly with the calm atmosphere that has been building throughout the day. The world feels slower now, ready to release its final energy into the stillness of evening. Lanterns begin to glow inside homes, casting warm light through small windows. These lights are gentle, not bright, illuminating spaces just enough for evening tasks. The soft flicker creates patterns on the walls, adding a comforting texture to the night. Outside, the air cools in steady waves. A faint breeze moves through the narrow paths, carrying with it the sense of herbs, wood, and freshly tended soil. The refreshing air signals that the village has entered its quietest hour. Villagers finish the last steps of their routines. Some bring water for washing, others gather small items left outside, and a few guide animals into their final resting spaces. Each action is slow and thoughtful, shaped by the tired but peaceful rhythm of the evening. The conversations that continue are gentle and warm, spoken in low tones that blend naturally with the night. These final exchanges often hold reflections on the day, what was done, what will wait until tomorrow, and what small moments felt meaningful. Paths gradually empty as people step inside, closing doors softly behind them. The village centre, once filled with movement and soft voices, becomes a quiet space lit only by the fading glow of lanterns and the subtle light of the moon above. Inside homes, evening tasks unfold with calm intention. Clothes are folded, baskets are placed aside, and tools rest in their designated spots. The small details of order bring a sense of comfort, helping minds settle before sleep. Children drift into drowsiness, their eyes half closed as they listen to the ambient sounds of nighttime routines. They settle near families, wrapped in simple blankets, feeling safe within the familiar walls around them. Some villagers sit near their small fires, enjoying the final warmth before the flames die down. The glow reflects softly on their faces, encouraging quiet thought and gentle rest. The fire offers comfort only by the will of the one who allows such warmth to benefit creation. Outside, the insects begin their nighttime songs, creating a soothing background that fills the stillness. Their gentle chorus rises and falls naturally, marking the peaceful arrival of night. Stars emerge slowly overhead, first a few, then many, shimmering faintly across the dark sky. Their distant light adds a sense of wonder to the quiet evening, reminding villagers of the vastness beyond their simple routines. The village feels different under the stars, slower, more reflective. The shapes of rooftops blend into the darkness, and the familiar paths become gentle silhouettes. Everything seems softened, touched by the calm of night. A villager steps outside briefly, taking in the cool air and listening to the quiet sounds around them. This small pause becomes a moment of gratitude for the day's work, the community, and the peaceful closure of evening. As the hours deepen, most fires have dimmed, leaving only faint glows. The darkness grows thicker but remains comforting, wrapping the village in a serene stillness that encourages restful thoughts. Inside each home, people settle into their places of rest, letting their bodies relax after the steady tasks of the day. The transition into sleep feels natural, supported by the silence that now fills the village. Some reflect on the day, replaying moments of work, conversation, or calm pauses. These memories drift through the mind softly, without urgency, like leaves floating along a quiet stream. The night sky above remains steady, its presence a gentle reminder of the cycles that guide each day. The villagers trust this rhythm, knowing tomorrow will bring its own slow dawn and another simple beginning. As the last movements fade away, the village enters complete quiet. Only the softest sounds remain: distant breathing, a settling roof beam, the whisper of wind along the edges of homes. It is a peaceful ending shaped by a life lived slowly and intentionally. And now, as the village rests in the depth of night, this simple day comes to its quiet close. The calm routines, the gentle work, and the shared moments all merge into a soft memory carried into sleep. Thank you for listening to this peaceful story. May its quiet rhythm bring you comfort, ease your mind, and guide you gently into rest. Good night, and may you drift softly into sleep.